Hi everyone. Today we would like to welcome you to our channel if you haven't been here before, and also to thank people who've been here for a very long time and support the channel loyally. Thank you, because this would not have been possible and the creation of a book would not have been possible without your ongoing support, your help for others in the community, and just being there. So today I'd like to just tell you a little bit about the book that's coming out so that you can make an informed decision as to whether you would like to purchase it or not and support the channel. I'll start off with how the book came about. Then I'll tell you basically what the book is about to see if it would be of interest to you. And then I'll give you the details on where to go and get it if you want to do so. So you all probably know, or people that have been here for a while, that I started the channel 4 years ago, and I have had experience of narcissists in my life, as a lot of you have as well, but just didn't know what I was dealing with and assumed it was probably a lot to do with my fault in relation to relationships. I then had the brick wall relationship, which I describe in one of the podcasts, where you're shattered beyond endurance and it's very difficult to pick yourself back up off the ground, as I'm sure a lot of people listening here are very familiar with. So in order to make sense of that particular occurrence and to survive it, I delved in, like so many of us do. I really delved into this personality disorder when I found out that I had encountered quite a few narcissists in my life, and ended up being extremely fascinated by it. I had studied psychology, and it's just part of my makeup to be very curious and to want to know the exact detail, and why and what and where, as a lot of us do, because we need to know why things happened and why people do things the way they do when they're narcissists. So, without further ado, I I needed to share, I needed to communicate with other people who might have had this experience, and just kind of say, do you know that there's a personality disorder? That's why people do this thing, and that's why they're attracted to people like you or me or whatever. And that's why, we get so devastated by it, because of course I didn't know it prior to educating myself about it. So I was just full of everyone needs to know this kind of enthusiasm. So thank you, for particularly for anyone that liked the first one or two videos, which I'm sure were, well, let's just say not all that together, but at least it was an attempt to reach out to other people that might have experienced what happened to them, what happened to me, etc., and get the knowledge out there. So the journey moseyed on, and because of people's support, and because, when someone said, oh, something that you said really helped me, that of course is very motivational to move forward with what you're doing, and also very, I suppose, very validating and very good to be able to share support and support services. We need each other. We need each other, and we need to be able to communicate our feelings, particularly when we've been invalidated and haven't been able to communicate prior to this, in the fullness of ourselves. So, to cut a long story short, I've been on YouTube for 4 years, and I'm now full-time on YouTube, and I'm also a life coach, very experienced at this stage. The email address for anyone that wants coaching is narcscon@gmail.com. And the book came about, it's been about a year in the making. So the book came about as a result of multiple narcissistic relationships that I've experienced in my life. And the brick wall last, I suppose, worst relationship would have stimulated me to go on YouTube, and thus to actually put the experiences down in written form. So whereas the book is not about any one individual in particular, it does tell you a bit of my personal story in relatable examples throughout the progression of the book. And now I will tell you the structure of the book and what it's actually about. So I've structured the book in the narcissist's behavior pattern or cycle of behavior, in that I start off with love bombing, move to devaluation, move to discard, move to hoovering, speak about different types of narcissists, etc. So it is a good basic guide for anyone that doesn't know about the narcissist behavior cycle, and also would be good when you are coming out of a relationship with one of these people and other people in your family, say, or friends, don't know how to support you, and they become so grasping to help you that they kind of eventually, when you've been talking and talking about it so long, tell you, well, just move on. You know, you need to move on. And you're trying to explain it's not that simple. It's not a normal relationship. There's an enmeshment in my head, and this is what happened. So the book might be a good tool to give to someone who doesn't understand what a narcissist is and how it affects their target or victim. Or it could be a good present to give to someone who's actually with a narcissist, but you can't or don't want to go against them or their relationship, but just say, I read an interesting book, you might be interested in it. I've also taken and used an analogy which I would have used in the earlier days of making podcasts. And I've centered the book around this analogy. So I believe that narcissists are not like ordinary human beings, but they look like and act like, in so many ways, like normal human beings. But the analogy describes them as being a different species in human form that come from a different planet, and that planet is called Narccon. And the book goes about explaining that we're in a silent war and a silent invasion of narcissists, or citizens of Narccon have come to invade Earth and humanity. And they've come disguised as human beings, but they're actually aliens inside. And they have come to destroy the construct of humanity, to invade us without us knowing that we're actually in a war, and that their purpose is to either convert us to their ways, i.e. the ways of Narccon, planet Narccon, or if we don't capitulate, to destroy us in the essence of our humanity. So there is a spiritual element to this as well. There's a philosophical element to this as well as describing the general everyday behaviors of narcissists that are going to be relatable to all of us in our everyday situations, which I think is important. I believe it's important not to over-intellectualize the psychology of what it is to be a narcissist, how they think, and how they act. I prefer to take it from a very relatable point of view, so you can have that light bulb moment. You can recognize if the person you're with or were with or was in your family or is still in your family may be a narcissist. And again, the book is not no one can fully diagnose another person as a narcissist, and not even a therapist can do that. Sometimes a narcissist will fool a therapist or a psychologist. But we do need some guide. We need some information so that we can protect ourselves against this personality type, and we can protect humanity. So what I would say to you is, the book is structured in an everyday relatable way. It uses, I suppose, what would you call it? A science fiction analogy of the invasion of Earth by narcissists in human form, in human bodies, that humanity is undergoing a silent war where narcissists use silent weapons in a weaponized use of love. And thus the book is called Weaponized Love, because they use love to invade Earth or to hook people in and to either convert them or destroy them. So that is in essence what the book is about. There's different elements to it. It does bring in the spiritual, it brings in psychological elements, but it's an everyday book experience with a an analogy that's, I suppose, a bit way out there, but it helps describe the total difference in the way narcissists think. So I would compare a narcissist and a human, even though the narcissist is in human form, as speaking a totally different language to the human being. And that's the best way I could think of to describe the differences, as them being a different species. So, with saying that, the book has been published in paperback version on Amazon.com, and I am going to leave a link for that. It is now available worldwide in the Kindle version, that's the ebook version. It still hasn't gone live in paperback on everyone's country Amazon, like amazon.co.uk and Germany, Ireland, and all the other countries in Australia. But that's within days, that's imminent. The Kindle book is available to purchase and download. The prices, I can give you the prices. I think for the Amazon.com, it's $12.99, and I think it's $9.99 for the Kindle version in dollars. And then, of course, in the other currencies, it's a variety of those prices. So I really hope you enjoy this book. The book takes you up to the place where you're beginning to heal. And I'm going to have a second book coming out, which I'm starting to work on. And that's going to be covering the healing process and tools and techniques for healing going forward. So I leave the links in the description below, and I hope you enjoy the book if you decide to purchase, and thank you for your support.